What's up? How are you guys? I get to follow the queen, so this ought to be fun. Oh, man. Cool. Is everything good? Awesome. All right, so I'm going to dive into right things, right order for you guys. I just believe there's a code and a sequence to unlock anything in our lives. There's nothing new. Everything's out there, right? And you guys have picked up a ton of stuff, a lot of... is there a little feedback? A little bit? Feedback? Off to the drink tickets already? Let's head to the bar. All right. So I just honestly believe there's a code and a sequence to everything, and I'm being able to unlock it. There's nothing new. Everything's there. But what we mess up is that we just put things in the wrong order. We don't take the time. We don't have the right sequence. And even if we have the right sequence, we might not have the right temperature. And even at the right temperature, we might not have the right time. So my goal is to give you guys a framework for your business to be able to unlock everything. And worst case, I'll have you guys strutting around tonight like Elon. I don't know why I think that's the funniest slide ever. Anyways, that's great. All right, so for me, I'm a coach's kid. I grew up, my dad was in the public school system for 48 years and in Lawton, Oklahoma. And so to make ends meet, you have to coach every damn sport that you possibly can. And you have to take care of the fields during the summer. And so that's how I grew up. I grew up in the locker room. And being able to see the impact of what coaches can have on other human beings. It was really one of the most inspiring and just transformational things. Get that feedback again. Okay? Good? Okay. So, that was me, man. I was that little kid. I was that little kid running out and get the tea, with the water. But for me, it was the only time that I could spend with my dad. If I wanted to spend time with him, I had to get up early. I had to go, to basketball practice. I had to go hang out on the golf course. I had to mow the football fields during the summer. And that was, for me, was growing up. So, as you can tell, I believe everybody on the planet needs a great coach. I believe a great coach in your life will be better. For our business to be better, we have to become better. And we cannot lead and coach another human being until we can lead and coach ourselves first. And like I said, right things, right order. There's a code and a sequence to unlock anything in our lives. For me, it's all about inspiring and challenge people to think bigger. Why? So you can transform your business and transform your life. A little bit background story. College dropout. Went to Cameron University in Lawton, Oklahoma to play golf. And I spent more time on the drinking team than the golf team. And so that didn't work out too well. The gentleman there that I'm standing next to, Mr. Michael Reese, him and I go way back. We're junior high school days together. So if you guys want to know some fun stories, we'll have a cocktail after this, and I can share plenty of them about him. But I went out to California. My aunt noticed my behavior, my long hair, and my Harley when I was supposed to be on the golf course. And drinking beer and working at a feed store. So she said, your life is going nowhere. You are coming out here. And that was the best move for me. I spent 3.5 years out there in Hollister, California at a semi-private golf resort. And I had one of the most amazing bosses in the world. How many of you guys have had just one of the most incredible bosses? Not bad boss. I mean, just one of the most incredible bosses ever. She changed my life. And when I came in, she was like, you know how to play golf. You know how to teach golf. But you don't know shit about business. I was like, okay, I'm listening. And so for the next 3.5 years, I learned everything from food and beverage to lodging to general management to the price you buy steak of how you run your specials. Do you know one way when, you had a semi-private resort and you got people that start to show up in tank tops, you know how you fix that? You raise the price by $3. Little things like that, have just served me tremendously well in everything that I've been able to do moving forward. I don't know what it is about Oklahoma, but it'll suck your ass right back. I've been sucked back twice now. So the first time I got sucked back was my high school buddy. He is the world's best salesman. I won't share on stage why he's the world's best salesman, but he did sell me to come back. And what it was, he wanted to get off the road. And so he wanted to put me on the road to babysit his business partner, and we were doing construction. World's best entrepreneurs, him and his other business partner, took 4 businesses from ideas, turned them into profitable businesses, and we flipped them. The last one we flipped in a 13-month contract was a garbage contract that we started from scratch and sold, and we had nothing to do. And so my best friend at the time it was the best idea ever. We should buy a bar. If you guys are thinking about buying a bar, talk to me first. It is the absolute worst decision. However, it was the green light that led me to Jay Kinder in 2004. Michael's the connector. Michael found out that I was about to jump ship where I was at, and he made the connection with Jay. So over the last 18 years, I've been a part of 2 separate 7-figure real estate businesses, over 4,300 total transactions. I've been coaching now for over a decade, 1,000 plus. I like to keep track of the one-on-one coaching calls. It's just fun now. So we're at 13,000. It's actually I had 10 today, so we're about 13,668 one-on-one coaching calls, and tons of thousands of agents across North America. I've had the opportunity to work with some incredible people. Andrew kicked things off this morning, so I have the opportunity to work with Andrew and many, many others. All right. So here's the agenda. Here's what we're going to dive into. I told you, right things, right order. Vision, model, strategy, people. After this, I'm going to give you guys a really good tool. How many of you are looking to grow your business? Okay. I've got an assessment for you guys that you guys can take, and it's take you less than 5 minutes to go through, fill out. It's really cool. Give you an idea of the 8 areas of growth that we've identified to see kind of where things are off. So we'll talk more about that at the end. So vision. Too many people, and we're all guilty of it in some part of our life, that we're living in a circular world. See, there's 2 types of worlds. There's a straight line world and there's a circular world. When we fall into a circular world is because we don't have any idea where the hell we want to go. We're not moving in a known direction. We have no destination in sight. That's not only for our business, but it's for the other two other buckets of the happiness triad, which is our health and our relationships. We move in a circular world or we move in a straight line. It's your choice. My job as a coach, and everyone in here as a leader, is to not only straighten that circle out for yourself, but straighten that circle out for everybody around you. We have to move in a known direction. So when you look at the components and you really break apart vision is broken down into 3 things. The very first thing and the most important thing are our core values. How do we behave? How do they play in your organization? The shoulds and should nots. What I'm giving you guys today is a framework to make better decisions. It's all about decisions. The reason that you're not growing fast enough is you're not making decisions fast enough. Okay? You are not making decisions fast enough. What is your decisions per month? What is your decisions per week? What is your decisions per day? What is your decisions per hour? The reasons you don't make decisions is because you don't have a framework to bounce them off of. But it starts with your values. What are non-negotiable? What will you walk out of here and fight somebody over if they violate it? Have you ever been around another human being and something just feels off? You're like, I don't know what it is, but something's off with that dude. What happens, and you ladies it's already, you do it better than us guys. It's just a built-in bullshit detector. But what happens is that you pick up the energy that's off from another human being. And what's off is that they're not congruent, they're not in alignment to who they are. They're not living to their values. You have to get clear on this first. Core values. Those are our company's core values. We believe in continuous personal and professional growth, consistently disciplined. You have to be disciplined in your thoughts, your actions, your behaviors, but you have to be consistent in your discipline. Always come from a place of contribution, always adding value. If it adds value to another human being, it is the right decision. 100-0. You have to own that shit. Extreme ownership. We are 100% results focused. We'll talk about it with people in a minute. Justin talked about how we've embraced our team. I'll show you my team. I don't micromanage. I don't know about you guys. I don't want to manage one human being. I want to lead people. I manage the agreement, but we're focused on results. We have fun. Work hard, play hard. If you guys know me, you know I love to have fun. Open communication. Candid, open, kind conversation. You can be direct with somebody, but you don't have to be a jackass. Okay? Purpose. Why does your company exist? This is the second component of vision. Why does your company exist? And more importantly, why should anybody care? If you did not show up tomorrow, your company went out of business, what void would you leave in your market? Would you leave a void? Would anybody even know? Would anybody even care? What do you stand for? What is your purpose? And the third and final component is, what is that big, hairy, audacious goal? Where we're at in time right now, so 2022, so I push everybody that I work with to set their big BHAG by the end of the decade. It just sounds cool. Where are you going to be by the end of the decade? What's that big, hairy, audacious goal for your organization? The problem is that every one of you in here is processing and thinking about that right now, but you're running it through the filter of your current financial situation. You have a filter on your potential. So what if you had $10 million cash in the bank? What would you do? What would you pursue for the next 8 years? What would you pursue? The cool thing about BHAG is that it's so far down the road, nobody's going to tell you that you can't do it. And you don't have to know how you're going to do it. You don't. It better scare the shit out of you, too. See, our BHAG is to be the number one residential coaching organization in the planet by the end of the decade. Y'all know me, that shit will happen. What is your BHAG? What scares you? What pushes you? What gets you out of bed every morning? Model. Second component. Model is really broken down into as simple as this. How do you create? How do you deliver? And how do you capture value? What is your value to your ideal client? The person that you want to work with. See, for a lot of you in here, you have buyers, you have sellers, you have other real estate agents. What is the value to that person? Essentially, what problem do they have and what problem are you uniquely qualified to solve? How are you going to deliver that? And then how are you going to capture that? The 9 building blocks of model are your customer segments. So who are you wanting to work with? Who are they? What are their problems? What are their pain points? What are their wants? What are their desires? What's your value proposition to solve those problems? The channels, so how do you get your message out? What are all the ways to get that message out? I would scratch customer, I would put client. Because every one of you in here have clients, not customers. Customers are what we are to Walmart. We're trusted advisors. We're experts. How do you manage those relationships? What are all of your revenue streams? What are the 7 to 10 revenue streams that you have in your business? How many of you have 7 to 10 revenue streams in your business? You better figure that out, especially where the market's going. Okay? Key resources. What are your key activities? What are your key partnerships? And then what's your cost structure? What's your budget? How do you What is your model? How do you allocate your marketing money, your salaries, your expenses, and your profit? 9 building blocks of model. Strategy. Right plan. Because when I say strategy, a lot of people, it goes right over their head. What is your plan? What is your plan? And strategy without tactics, I love this quote. Strategy without tactics is the slowest route to victory. Although tactics, taking massive action without strategy, is noise before defeat. I'm not a commit and figure it out guy. I don't believe in that shit. Why? Because it'll get too hard and you'll realize you don't want to do it and you're just going to stay committed to stay committed. I'm about to figure out what do you want to do and then reverse engineer that and what is it going to take, and then I can ask the question, am I willing to commit to that? That's how you stay a sustainable commitment. Good strategy is simple. It is so obvious. Don't overcomplicate it. Defines the key challenges that we're trying to overcome. It includes actions to take to overcome the challenge. Here's a better way to look at it. Bad strategy doesn't even address the challenge. Everybody I work with, they have 2 lists, always ongoing. One is your activity inventory. What are you doing every day? It's like Justin talked about this morning. There are 400 things that you need to probably delegate and get off your plate. The only way you do that is paying attention to what you're doing every day. The other list is, what are your issues? What are your issues? We all have issues. What are the issues in your business? Because when we identify the plan, is that we're going to look at those issues and we're going to decide which issues we need to solve immediately. Those become our priorities. Okay? Bad strategy mistakes goals, ambition, vision, and effort for strategy. These are important, but they are not strategy. What are your issues and how are you going to solve them? That's the key. That's a good plan. And then people. So remember, it's all about right things, right order. We have a vision. We have a model of how we're going to monetize and make money. We have a plan to execute. And then you have to step back and say, okay, what does my team have to look like in order for me to execute the plan within the model in pursuit of the vision? Do you see how the dots get connected? Okay. Did I lose you guys? Hey, this is typical. For me, I hit people right between the eyes, so I get the glazed over look. So this is normal. So this is good. This is by far my favorite quote. I say this one all the time. If the people in your circle don't inspire you, you don't have a circle, you have a cage. You better take inventory of who's around you. And when you understand that your environment and the people around you drive how you think and the decisions you make. See, decisions are just a collection of our thoughts. And then that turns into our thinking drives how we feel. And how we feel is the behavior and the actions or inaction, therefore drives our results. So if you're not getting the results you want, it's because of the inaction or the wrong behavior or the wrong habits. And that's driven by how you feel, which is driven by your thinking, which is then driven by your environment or your circumstance. That's why environment is greater than willpower. You better take inventory of who's around you. How many of you guys in here have a team, have people, organization? And I know, Elizabeth nailed it. Every one of you in this room is a leader. Your number one key metric for you in your business is the percentage of key seats on the bus filled with the right people for those seats. At all times. And see, as you continue to grow, you're going to have to replace those people. You outgrow people. Some of them will choose to come along and they'll ride with you. But as you continue to grow and you continue to push, you're always evaluating that. Your number one metric even before profitability, is making sure that you've got the right people in the right seats. Because see, if you have the right people in the right seats, you're going to hit your profit numbers for your business. So here's our leadership team. And Justin said we embraced it all. And we have. I've had some great teams over the years. By far, this is my most favorite team that I have right now for a lot of reasons. These are the key functions of any business. It doesn't matter if it's Jana's, staging designation, staging company. Doesn't matter, Wayne's coaching organization. Doesn't matter. Y'all in here selling real estate. It doesn't matter. If we were selling shaved ice, we would still have these key functions. You have your head of company. You have your visionary. We embraced EOS system. How many of you guys are familiar with EOS? Entrepreneur Organization System, Gino Wickman, Traction, what the heck is EOS, Rocket Fuel? It is the operating system for your business. And so we have implemented the integrator role. And you have head of sales, head of marketing, head of operations, head of finance, and then head of IT. I'll give you the down and dirty what they're responsible for. I'm Chief Legacy Officer. We all have fun names. So I'm Chief Legacy Officer. I'm responsible to drive the vision of the organization and then make sure that we got the right people in the right seats. Integrator is the buffer from me and the rest of the team, responsible that we hit our P&L and we hit our objectives. Sales is simple, right? You turn opportunities into cash. Marketing is to create opportunities for sales to turn sales into cash. Operations, standard operating procedures, hiring and firing, making sure the business is functioning. Finance, all about the money, keeping the money in order. In IT, not old school IT in the way that you might think, but more so about automation, landing pages, creating that type of structure within your organization. I had a very first time I met Justin. He might have been on his birthday on the beach somewhere. And we had a conversation, and I said, hey, this is what I'm looking for. And what I loved about that whole entire conversation and made me a believer about Justin and everything that he was doing and everything that he's done, he said, we're not going to find that. He said, but here's what we will do. And I was like, I appreciate that. Thank you for not bullshitting me and trying to sell me on something and being straightforward and straight honest. Very honest with me. And so I found Diana. And I'm going to tell you, all of you need a Diana. She is the rock star. All of my marketing, if you guys, how many of you guys follow all of our stuff on social media and everything? It all comes from her. Like, I don't even know half of the stuff that goes out until after the fact. And from there, Diana's been able to, I hired Iva, and those are the only two people I've hired. They've hired everybody else from this point forward. And so what I want to show you is our marketing team. If you are not thinking as a marketing agency first and happen to do whatever second, you don't have it in the right order. You have to think through that you're a marketing agency that just happens to sell real estate. You're a marketing agency that just happens to stage homes. You're a marketing agency that just happens to coach people. You have to think that way first. It's not the best agent that wins, it's the best marketer. This is our marketing team as of today. Our video editor, content writer, events coordinator, social media manager, and funnel IT manager. They all have fun names. Diana's digital overlord, broadcast barber, digital media sorceress, conqueror of chaos, social queen bee media. Every one of these people have come through Spear Rocket, through Justin's organization. What I like to say when people ask me about Justin, I'm like, he's a talent headhunting and training organization. He finds talent, but you have to know what you're looking for first. You have to know what it is that you're trying to accomplish. We've got about 4 other hires already identified, and this is just continuing to grow. And this is the team that's growing. We'll have another content writer. We'll have another funnel manager and social media manager. So it's growing. Here's the assessment. If you guys are really committed and serious about growing your business, take this 5-minute assessment. Because of what it'll do is it'll identify where you are struggling. How many times have you walked into an appointment or you're talking to somebody and you just start telling them what you're going to do for them? It'd be like going on the operating table and starting to work on somebody's heart when they've got a broke leg. What is that, malpractice? We should all go to jail. You have to know where the problem is in your business. So this is the eight accelerated growth factors that we found. It's going to give you guys identify what's working, what's not working, how you need to look at it, how you need to think about it, where you need to prioritize, what are the real issues in your business. How'd your score? It's cool. It's a kind of cool assessment too. All right, so I want to leave you guys with this thought. I hate running. I started running when I'm 45. I ran my first marathon when I turned 40. And my mom passed away 2 months from her 40th birthday. And so I was 11 years old. So I wanted to do something to kind of for that. And of course, I never ran a marathon before, so of course I had to run the New York City Marathon. And ended up taking my dad. He'd never been to New York before, so took my dad. And we had an incredible experience. And after that, feeling good. My body was shot, but I was feeling good. And had the opportunity to see Jesse Itzler speak. Have you guys seen Jesse? Have any of you seen Jesse? He's probably the best speaker from stage. If you get an opportunity to see Jesse, go absolutely go see him. And he said something, sometimes the speaker's like, man, is that dude talking to me? Like, is he talking to me? He was talking to me that day, and he said, the worst thing that we can do as human beings is not set. We accomplish something big in our life, but we don't set the next big target. We coast. Glenn at Stanford at EXP had a challenge last year or 2 years ago was kind of coasting. Because what he saw that a lot of the top earners at EXP were taking their foot off the gas. They were coasting. And so it was kind of a theme to challenge them to create awareness. See, we can't make a change without awareness. We have to have awareness first. And so I felt like Jesse was talking to me that day. And he said, what is that next big challenge for you? And so I was like, shit, what am I going to do? I just ran a marathon. I mean, I can't imagine going any further. And then I get a text message a couple of weeks later, typical Michael Reese fashion, and it's a link to Ironman Florida, 10-year anniversary. And I'm like, what in the hell is this? And see, remember, I'm a what is this before I commit type of guy. I'm not going to commit and figure it out. I'm going to figure it out, and then I'm going to commit. And so I started looking. I was like, what the fuck is an Ironman? 2.4 in the water? Like, shit, the only time I get in the water is with a beer in my hand. And then 112 miles on the bike? Like, I haven't been on my bike got stolen when I was 15. I haven't been on a bike since. Oh, marathon. I got that. I know what that is. And so I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I downloaded all these training programs. I'm like, I'm going to figure it out. I figured out how to run a marathon by myself. I'm going to figure out how to do this Ironman by myself. And I get about 2.5 months from the event, and I am lost. I am confused, and I am starting to get a little scared. And it's one of those aha moments. It's like, what? You're the biggest dummy on the planet. You grew up in a coach's house. You're a coach's kid. You coach people for a living. Why do you not have a coach working you through this? How many of you guys have read Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers? 10,000-hour rule? Robert Greene, 48 Laws of Power. I wholeheartedly believe in the 10,000-hour rule. He said, but you know what? There is one thing that will challenge the 10,000-hour rule, and that's coaching. A coach will collapse time. Something that might take you 12,000 hours to master, a coach can get you there in 9. Something that might take 10, coach can get you there in 7. And I made that commitment. And that lesson also taught me that we don't only have that equity of our life, of our fitness and our nutrition. We have that also for our business, but we also have that for our life. And so I think I've got 4 coaches now. Anywhere in your life that you want to improve and you want to collapse time, get a coach. Get a coach. Coach helped me get through three Ironman finish lines, and we've taken 2 swings at 100-mile endurance runs. We're gonna get it this time. We're going in July. I'm a part of the Honey Badger Nation, and so there's a 100-mile race in Kansas called the Honey Badger 100. Of course, I've got to run that race. So we've got that coming up in July. We're going to get it, but it's not possible without a coach at all. If you guys take the assessment, if you want to connect and go deeper, we're all over social media at John Kitchens Coach. In fact, I'm going to bribe you real quick. I got 30 seconds. So I got to deal with he's now 11. Well, he'll be 11 on Father's Day. He was 9 at the time. He set up my YouTube channel. Wicked smart kid. He made a deal with his dad. I was like, Bub, what you want? Thank you for setting that up. He's like, well, what do we want to do? What are you trying to do? I was like, well, I want to grow subscribers. We're going to do a bunch of content on that. He goes, okay. Well, can I get something every time you get 100 subscribers? And so at the time, he was into these action figures. Well, he doesn't, not the G.I. Joes that I grew up on. Like, these are $100 action figures. So the 9-year-old negotiated for every 100 subscribers, he gets a $100 action figure. So you guys can help. You can help my son out by subscribing to the YouTube channel and get him paid. He always asks me every time I say, "Hey, Dad, I looked at the YouTube channel." You can help him out. Anyways, thank you guys.